Hi everybody, it's Olivia Burnett and we're back with another video on cover letters and job interviews. So once you've submitted your resume, you may also be asked to submit a cover letter, and then if that goes well, you'll hopefully be invited to schedule a job interview, and if that goes well, then you'll have gotten the job. So a cover letter is basically expanding on your resume and describes why you're the perfect person for this job. So your resume you get to reuse for pretty much every job you apply to, but your cover letter will vary a little bit for every application. If you're applying to a bunch of jobs at once, I would maybe just have the cover letter and then delete all the application specific information and then replace it kind of like a Mad Lib. That'll save you some time because they're all basically the same structure. You have a greeting, an introduction, you explain why you're a good candidate, you ask them to invite you to a job interview, and then sign off. So we're going to go step by step through a cover letter with an example. So first, you'll have your contact information, so that way they can contact you for an interview, and then you have the hiring manager's information, their name, job title, and where they work. You'll have your salutation. So here we know the name. This letter is going to Roz, but if we didn't know, you could write "Dear hiring manager" or "hiring staff," something along those lines. But you want to start it out with a salutation. So in your opening paragraph, you'll have the position you're applying for, a brief summary of your qualifications, and then you want a lot of positivity and enthusiasm. Like, I'm thrilled to hear about this job. I think I would be absolutely perfect. I'd really like to offer my skills, something along those lines that's kind of positive and excited. So here we've got the position, a brief summary of other successes, and then this positivity, I'd be the perfect candidate for this job. So your body paragraphs, think of this sort of like an argumentative essay that you would write in school. You want to give evidence and then a justification. So your argument is that you're the perfect person for this job. So we've got evidence here that I executed the biggest scare at Monsters University, and this makes me a great candidate because I really know about how to scare people and how to organize and plan these things. We've also got evidence. I worked at different positions within Monsters Inc. And then justification, that means I already know how this company works. Hence, I would be a great candidate for scarer. So after your body paragraphs, you want to push them a little bit and say, I can't wait to have an interview. So thank you for your consideration. I look forward to hearing from you soon. It's a great way to end your cover letter. And then you have your name. So hopefully that goes well, and then you're contacted by the hiring manager for a job interview. In my opinion, job interviews are basically indistinguishable from a first date. So you get to know each other a little bit. You see whether you would be a good match. So once you've already sent in your resume and cover letter, that's basically that's like your Tinder bio. So if you get an interview, they swiped right, they're interested. So now you have a chance to really impress them, make them fall in love with you and hire you. So before your interview, you want to seem professional the whole time. So double check the time and place of the interview, make sure you know where you're going, so that way you're not frantically, texting or emailing them like, where are you? I don't know what's going on, because that gives a bad impression. Aim to be there a couple minutes early, so that way if something goes wrong and you're running late, you'll still be on time. For most interviews, you'll want to dress business casual. If you're not exactly sure what that is, dress like you're an extra on The Office. So this is a little bit nicer than what you're going to wear to school every day. So no jeans, sneakers, t-shirts, leggings, but yes to khakis, dress shoes, polo shirt, sweaters, that sort of thing. Before your interview, practice smiling and making eye contact, being friendly. And once you're there, even if you're not talking to your future boss, be friendly and polite the entire time so that you're giving this good and professional impression. So every interview is going to be a little bit different, but the bulk of the interview is probably going to be answering some questions. The questions are going to be different depending on the interview, but these are some really common ones. So I would practice answering these with a friend or family member. So keep your answers positive, to the point, and then maintain eye contact, smile in a non-creepy way. And that's the best way to appear professional and like the right candidate. So good answers, there's not really one good answer. It's kind of going to depend on your personality and the job. But to keep in mind, you want to match the energy of your interviewer. So if they're a little bit more casual, then maybe you can lighten up. You want to give an honest answer, don't lie, but don't complain about how terrible your previous job was. Don't tell them that you're only in it for the money, even if you are. Never say that. Stay on the topic of the question, avoid going on tangents, don't waste their time, but also give answers that a human being would give and not a robot. If you're not sure about a question, I think it's a good idea to think for a couple seconds and then give a good answer. So we've got Andy Bernard's advice: name repetition, personality mirroring, never breaking off a handshake. This is a little bit exaggerated, but he's on the right track. You want to keep it positive and excited while you're doing your interview. At the end of the interview, they'll ask you if you have any questions. Even if you don't really have any questions, pretend like you have questions, because it shows that if you don't have questions, it makes you seem, unprepared or uninterested. So these are all good questions to ask. So questions about the environment, about specifics of your job, about how the company works, or what your next step should be. Don't ask questions like, can I take 3 months off, or can I get a raise? Because they haven't hired you yet, so you're still kind of trying to impress them. So save those questions for after you get hired. And also, another thing to keep in mind is they're not just interviewing you, you're also kind of interviewing them, getting a feel for the company. So if you see any of the following things, if you are interviewing with your future boss and they're already difficult to work with and seem unreasonable, this is them on their best behavior, so they're going to be even worse on a normal day. If you're asked to work for free or do your training for free, that means that they don't value your time and value you as an employee. If the job has been posted for a long time, or it seems like there's a high employee turnover rate, that means that it's probably not a good job. If you still have questions about hours, scheduling, salary, that sort of thing that aren't answered in the job posting, or your boss doesn't bring them up, then that means that the hours and salary are probably not good, and they don't want to talk about it. So that's something to look out for. If you're not given a written job offer, this means that they'll be able to kind of change what your role is to fit whatever they need. They could not be honest about your salary. So these are all things to look out for while you're interviewing, to see this might not be a very good job. But that's all the advice I have on job interviews. Thank you for watching, and good luck on getting hired.